Hi there, this is Tony from pianotone.ca, and in this video I'm going to go over the mic input and all of the different effects features that are available on the new Roland GO Keys 5 keyboard. Note that this does not apply to the Roland GO Keys 3, which does not have a mic input feature. Let's check it out. Okay, so first things first, how am I recording this video? Well, the Roland GO Keys has an audio interface built into the USB connection, and that transmits audio in both directions. So because of that, combined with the fact that the GO Keys 5 has a mic input feature, basically means I can record this video with all the sounds the keyboard is making, including singing, talking, just using the keyboard connected directly to my phone, which is recording the video. The camera app on my phone is using the digital audio being sent by the keyboard instead of its built-in mic. So, super cool. If this keyboard didn't have a built-in audio interface, then I would have to connect the keyboard's audio outputs to an external audio interface like a Focusrite Scarlett or a UA Volt, and then connect that to my phone. Okay, so for mic inputs, there are actually two. You can use a headset mic with your headset just connected to the keyboard's 1/8 inch headphone out port, or you can use a dynamic mic like I'm doing connected to the 1/4 inch mic input port. If your dynamic mic only has an XLR connection, you can either grab an XLR to 1/4 inch adapter, or you can just get a mic cable that has a 1/4 inch port instead. That's what I would actually recommend. I'll leave some Amazon links for both of those in the description below. Now note that a condenser mic is not going to work because condenser mics require phantom power and the keyboard's not supplying that. For any kind of performances or singing, I would definitely recommend a proper dynamic mic as opposed to a headset mic, unless you got a really fancy one. I'm using a Samson Q2U mic that I've had for over a year now, and I really do like it. I'll leave a link in the description below to the review that I did on this mic. One of the things I really like about it is that it can function as a dynamic mic, like it is right now, connected to a keyboard with a mic input. Or you can also use it as a dynamic mic connected to a mixer, a PA system, an amplifier, audio interface. But it can also connect directly to a computer with a USB cable as a USB mic. So it's been kind of a one-stop solution for me. So while I will also use a headset mic for a quick demo in this video, I'll be using this Samson mic for most of the review. Okay, now I wanted to mention something right off the bat is that depending on your microphone, you may have a really low volume relative to the keyboard's volume. And while there is a mic volume you can adjust, it's not enough on its own to fix this issue. When I first got my keyboard, I even contacted some other reviewers who said the only thing you can do about this is to just lower the relative volume of the rest of the keyboard sounds, which I wasn't really a fan of. But then I did figure out what the solution is, and that is there are actually two places you need to set some values in order to get your mic volume to a usable level. So with your mic connected, you can enable or disable it by either long pressing the mic button, or short pressing the mic button, and then when the mic menu pops up, using the on or off key to, which is accessed with F1, to be able to just quickly enable or disable the mic. So you'll see in addition to the on and off toggle there's also a mic volume and a reverb level. I actually wish that with the reverb that there was some kind of a quick way to just turn reverb on and off with a key or something. Because if you want to switch back and forth between talking and singing, then having to drill down into this menu and then adjust the reverb level that way is just a little bit of a pain, but not the end of the world. So when I first got my keyboard and I was having trouble with the mic volume, the first thing I did was come in here, go to the mic settings, and I cranked it up. Now this does make a difference and it does help for sure, but I'm going to show you what the keyboard was like when I took it out of the box here, and the other thing that you need to set. And that is you need to press Menu, and then System, and then Input, and then you scroll down to Mic Gain. You can see that I've got this set to 18 or plus 18 decibels. But out of the box, this was set to 0, and I'll show you what that sounds like. I'm just going to hit Enter here, and I'm going to continue to talk at the same volume, and then you're going to see what it's like at 0. Now I'm actually now raising my voice and talking really loud. You probably couldn't hear me very well there. So for talking, I've got this usually set to at least 18 or 20 or even 21. And for singing, also usually at least 18, maybe 15, depending on how loud I'm singing. So just to demo what this was like when I got it out of the box, I'm going to turn this back down to 0. Then I'm going to go back to the mic menu, and I'm going to switch that mic volume up to the maximum of 127. So let's check this out. So that's at the maximum of 127, and I'm actually talking really, really loud here, and it's still not loud enough. So you definitely need some gain. So I'm not sure if you could hear me or not there, but you do definitely need to have some gain. And this, again, this could be different depending on what mic you're using versus what mic I'm using. But if you need extra volume, that's where you need to go. So I did mention that I'm going to be doing pretty much all of this video with my Samson dynamic mic, but I do want to switch just quickly here to a headset mic cable connection that came with my One Audio Studio Pro headphones. I never actually used this, and I can pretty much guarantee you it's not a very good quality mic, but just so you can check it out and see that it works as well. Okay, so now I've got my headset mic connected, and it's not a very good headset mic, but you can see there's a separate mic gain for the headset mic, which is definitely cool to have. And that functions just exactly the same as it does, so you can adjust it as you need to for whatever kind of headset mic you've got. And just so you can demo this as well, you can see that the reverb works as well on the headset mic, and so do the mic effects, which I'm going to be going over in just a second. So let's get back to the dynamic mic. Okay, so I'm back on the Samson mic again. Now that we've covered turning the mic on and off, configuring reverb, and also dealing with that volume level issue, let's get into this effects section. So same as enabling or disabling the mic itself, you can enable or disable the effect by either long pressing the mic effects button. That'll turn effects on. And you can long press it to turn it off, or you can just short press it. And then when the mic effects menu comes up, you can use the F1 button to turn them on and off. So we're back on and we're back off. So when you open this mic effects menu, you can choose between harmony or voice transformer using the wheel, and then drill down into each of their respective submenus by hitting the settings button, which is F4. Now I'm going to do that in a bit, but first I want to go into the compressor and noise features, which are F2 and F3 on the Harmony menu, because those are actually common to both Harmony and the voice transformer. Now, one other thing to quickly mention is that both the noise and compressor features actually have their own on and off settings. So turning the mic effects on or off has no bearing on whether or not the noise and compressor are active or not. So if I press F2 to open the compressor options, I can turn the compressor on or off, just like that. And I can choose between normal, hard, or soft. Just going to leave that on normal for now. Now, I'm definitely not a specialist in this area, but the basic idea of what a compressor does is that it reduces the difference between the loudest and quietest parts of an audio signal. If you think about it, you can imagine how this would be an important part of mixing a vocal track so that the volume doesn't jump around too much. Now, this definitely is not a super scientific way of doing this, but just to give the basic idea, I've got the compressor set to off, and I'm going to try and hum as quietly as I can and then get louder. And then I'm going to switch the compressor on and do the same thing. You should hear more of the quiet humming at the start when the compressor is on. I know, not scientific, but hey, let's check this out. Okay, I know, not scientific, but I think it gets a bit of the point across. So now on to the noise limiter. Let's turn this back off again. And we'll get out of here and we'll go to noise. So this one, once again, has a switch for on or off, which once again has nothing to do with whether the mic effects are on or off, and a threshold. So right now it's set to negative 60 dB or decibels, which is the level that noise suppression will start. So the quick and easy way to demo this is, first of all, if I turn this to 0, you're not going to be able to hear me at all because it's going to be suppressing pretty much everything. So once I get down to 0, you can't hear me. So I'll turn this back up so that you can actually hear me again. Back to the default level that the keyboard came with, which was negative 60. So now I'm going to blow into the mic as softly as I can, and you should be able to hear that pretty easily. Now I'm going to switch that to, say, minus 30. And I do the same thing again. Now, I don't know if you could hear that or not. I couldn't through my headphones. But it doesn't seem like my voice volume has changed a huge amount. But if I start turning it lower than minus 30, you are going to start to lose my voice here and there. So depending on your voice, your breathing, your environment, you might want to play with this setting to try and dial it into where it works for you. I'm usually setting mine in at around minus 40 or so. Okay, so now on to the fun stuff, the effects. I'm going to start with and spend most of the rest of this review on the harmonies, and then I will go over the voice transformer as well. So if I press mic effects, and then go F4 to go into the harmony settings, the first menu item is the type. Now, I'm not going to demo all of these. You can check them out on your own, but there are a lot of options. We've got duet, high, close, which adds an upper voice that's close scale-wise to your original sound. Duet high open, which adds an upper voice that's far apart scale-wise from the original sound. And then duet low close, that adds a lower voice that's scale-wise close to the original sound. And then duet low open, which is a lower voice that's far apart scale-wise from the original sound. Then you go to trio. Trio adds an upper and a lower voice that are close scale-wise to the original sound. Then you can go to quintet, which adds 2 upper voices and 2 lower voices to the original sound. Combo adds 2 upper voices to the original sound. Block adds 3 upper voices to the original sound. And classic adds 2 or 3 upper voices to the original sound. So one thing I wanted to mention is that, at least as far as my very novice singing and harmonizing ears can tell, it does seem, at least to me, that the harmonies do change depending on what chord you may be playing at the time that you're singing. I think the way that this is working is that if you aren't playing anything at the time, the keyboard's probably assuming you're singing over a major chord. But if you're playing a chord, then the harmony is going to try to adjust to match. Now, I am by no means a talented vocalist, but I will do my best. Let's see if we can hear how the harmonies are working. So I've chosen a duet high open because I want to get a harmony that's a single voice that's as far away as possible from mine in pitch, hoping that we're going to be able to hear this as clearly as possible. Then I'm going to go to the harmony level, and I'm going to adjust that from 6 up to 10. This is the relative volume of the harmony relative to my voice. And then the direct level, which is how much of the original my voice are we hearing, I'm going to adjust that down from 10 to 5. You probably normally want to have this right where it was, with the direct level at 10 and the harmony at 5 or 6 or 7 or something, just so that your voice is still more out front than the harmonies are. So what I'm doing here isn't something that I would recommend doing, especially if you're a novice like I am, because then the harmonies can end up being so loud that I know, at least with my voice, it might start fluctuating, trying to move towards the harmonies that I'm hearing, which could make it challenging to sing anything at this setting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a C note and try my best to match and hold that while I'm facing away from the mic. And then I'll let go of the keys and turn toward the mic so that you can hear the harmony. So I'm going to turn the harmonies on. Let's give this a try. Now let's repeat that, but I'm going to keep holding that C note. So that sounded the same to me, but now I'm going to do it again. But when I get close to the mic, I'm going to play and hold a C major chord, and then I'm going to switch it back and forth with a C minor. Now, maybe it's just me, but I'm pretty sure the harmony is changing based on the chord that I'm playing. I think it's going to go back and forth from a major third to a minor third when I play those chords. So why don't you take a listen and see if you agree with me. Now I'm going to go back and forth between the major and minor. I'm going to throw in a seventh chord as well and see what happens. So I'm pretty sure that the harmonies are definitely reacting to the chords that I'm playing. Okay, so once again, I'm going to apologize for my voice in advance, but let's actually try this in a more realistic setting. I'm going to switch the harmonies to classic, which is multiple upper voices. I'm going to reduce the relative harmony back down to 6. And I'm going to put the direct level back up to 10. And then I'm going to play a little bit of an original song of mine. I want to walk with you. I love your point of view. When the world is cold, you surround me. Okay, so that sounds pretty good. Still got my harmonies on. I'm going to throw in some reverb. And I'm going to include a style. I want to walk with you. I love your point of view. When the world is cold, you surround me. Okay, so I've got the effects back off and the reverb turned off. Once again, apologize for the novice singing voice, but I know what I sound like without all that help, and to me, that didn't sound too bad. And to be honest, I haven't really practiced singing with this keyboard much at all, so it can only get better from there. Okay, let's dive back into the effects menu for harmonies, and there's one more thing to talk about, which is the chorus level. So I'll open up the mic effects menu again, go to settings, and then just go down to the chorus send. This is just basically how much chorus you want on your harmonies, and you can adjust it to your liking. So I'll turn the effects back on and go into the chorus send, and then you can hear there's more chorus on the harmony, and then less chorus on the harmony, and then more chorus on the harmony. So you can dial it in wherever you want. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the harmonies. Let's move on to the voice transformer. When I choose voice transformer instead of harmony on the main menu, and you're going to notice compressor and noise are still there in their same spots. When I hit the setting, I'm going to get the voice transformer menu. But one thing to notice is you're going to see there's a harmony section. And that's basically a duplicate of the harmony menu. And the reason that's there is because for all of the voice transformer settings, except for one, which I'll mention, you can combine the voice transformer with the harmony. Okay, so the first thing you can do with the voice transformer is to shift your voice pitch up or down 1 octave. So I can go up 1 octave or down 1 octave. So I'm going to set this to up 1 octave. So I'm going to hit this F note, and I'm going to try and sing that away from the microphone, and then I'm going to turn back to the mic so that you can hear it. And then I'll turn the mic effects off. Then you should hear my voice jump back down to what I'm actually singing. So that seems to work and is kind of cool. Now keep in mind here, if I scroll to the bottom of this menu, I've got the direct level, which is the volume, relative volume of my voice, but unlike how it is in the harmonies menu, it's set to 0 here instead of 10. But that makes sense because the whole point of a voice transformer is to transform my voice, so you would assume that you don't want to actually hear my voice, which is why that's set to 0. So if I try to hold a note again with the mic effects back on and I turn the direct level up, you'll start to hear my voice, what I'm actually singing. Okay, so the next thing you can do is you can adjust the formant of the voice. And basically what this is to try and make your voice sound more masculine or more feminine. A larger positive number means more feminine, and a larger negative number means more masculine. To be honest, going up or down 3 or 4 levels in either side of this is about as much as I think you can get away with before it just starts sounding really kind of goofy and weird. It can actually sound a bit better if you combine this setting with an octave shift, which I'll show you in a second. But let's just turn the mic effects back on. Let me first move the octave back down again. Okay, so I'm going to start trying to become a little more feminine sounding, and that's what I get. Usually, like, I think it should stop at about +3 or +4, but if I start cranking it up, then it just sounds kind of, well, like this. So let's go back down to the negative side, see what that sounds like. Once again, on the negative side, to be honest, I wouldn't even go beyond 1 or 2. I guess it depends on your voice, though. If you've got a really high voice, maybe you want to go down further, but you can play with it, but it does sound pretty goofy when you really crank it up. So I'm going to set this to 4, and then I'm going to go and move the octave level up 1. Let's check this out. Now how do I sound? With a combination of the octave and the format, maybe sounds a little bit less cheesy, but let's try singing my song again. I want to walk with you. I love your point of view. When the world is cold, you surround me. Okay, I'm going to come back to this in a minute, but one last thing I want to talk about just very quickly is the robot switch. And that one, all that's going to do when I turn this on and I enable the effects is transform your voice into kind of a goofy robot voice, and it removes all of the pitch. So you're basically monotone. So the robot switch isn't going to work with the harmonies, which I'm going to show you in a minute. And if you turn on harmonies and combine them with the voice transformer in this menu, then the robot switch is going to be disabled anyways. But this is what the robot switch sounds like. So with robot switch on, everything's at the same pitch, even though I'm not actually talking that way. Okay, so robot switch, kind of goofy, but now let's combine some harmonies with the voice transformer changes that I've made. I'm going to go back up here and move that up an octave again, and I'm going to go to format, whatever that is, and I'm going to move that back up to 3, and then I'm going to go down to the harmonies. I'm going to turn those on, and I'm going to switch this to duet high open, so that it's as far away from me as possible. And I'll leave the direct level at 0 because we are trying to transform my voice. And I'm also going to throw on some reverb and some accompaniment. Let's see how this goes. I want to walk with you. I love your point of view. When the world is cold, you surround me. Okay, kind of a fun feature, but as far as the voice transformer goes, I don't think you're going to fool anybody. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the mic and effects features on the Roland GO Keys 5. Overall, I'm pretty impressed with this, especially the harmonies. The GO Keys 5 really is a great, super portable performing keyboard for a solo performer or a duo. For somebody who plays and sings or accompanies a singer, and you play small, intimate venues like cafes or you busk, that type of thing. The fact that this keyboard weighs next to nothing, it can run on batteries, it's got good sounds, it's got rhythms and accompaniment, including a chord sequencer that you could use to easily make your own backing tracks. Video on that coming to my channel within the next couple of months. Proper left and right line outs for properly connecting to amps or PA systems. And on top of all of that, this mic input with effects and harmonies. Super cool, especially for somebody that wants to have a ton of fun at home or use in smaller, intimate performance situations. To me, the voice transformer isn't something I would ever use, but if I was playing in a cafe and trying to help out my novice singing voice as much as possible, some simple harmonies and a ton of reverb would definitely help me out. So that's pretty much it for this video. If you like the content, please feel free to smash the like button and subscribe to my channel. That does really help me out. I've left links below to my playlist of Roland GO keys videos, as well as some other relevant videos of mine, if you want to check any of those out, as well as some links to check out current prices in your area on the products I've mentioned, and as usual, some links to online piano training that I can highly recommend that work great for me. So thanks again for stopping by. Happy singing and happy harmonizing. Have an awesome day.